Find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installments of Memories of the Cherry Blossom Throne. This evening's scene takes place in the great Hajime Cemetery, located within the boundaries of Kyoto proper. Here, many great luminaries of the past, war heroes from many great clans that no longer draw breath, be they the Fujiwara, the Yamato, etc., all lay their ashes upon great family shrines. It is a place of silence, a place of mantras, a place of incense, and a place where the wind whistles through. We shall join the caretaker, the shrine keeper in many ways of this mausoleum of the dead as he goes about his nightly business. Because this particular keeper of a mausoleum wishes to ask one particular individual certain questions that may pique their interest. We shall join them as they do so.
At this point, he's been in the graveyard for a few days, so where does he typically hang out?
He doesn't really hang out. He tends to move around. He likes to visit the shrines and he likes to pray at them.
So after I met, you still there?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought I closed it. So after I met with the others, I'll go back to the graveyard and look around for him.
All right. It won't take you particularly long to find him. You will see with the ability to pierce the shroud that you have by virtue of your blood and by virtue of your connection to the very energies of death themselves. He is currently kneeling in what appears to be contemplation in front of a family shrine. Though interestingly enough, this family shrine has had its name removed. The kanji that denote who it belonged to long ago picked away.
Is there anything still written on it?
It denotes the fact that 4 individuals lay here buried, but other than that, no names.
I'll kind of stand off till he looks like he's done.
The spirit spends about 20 to 30 minutes in contemplation before it stands and it turns slowly. You see, it makes no indent in the grass as it moves. After all, it stands on the other side of the gauntlet, but you can perceive it. It to you can be as real as a physical flesh and blood being, but it looks at you with the eyes from underneath its helmeted head. You see them glinting an odd shade of off blue as it looks at you.
I'll bow to him.
He will return the bow.
Are you adjusting to being here?
It is peaceful here.
That's why I like it.
It is an interesting change of pace.
Can imagine. Would have been exciting where you previously were.
I was the guardian of something that did not need a guardian for an incredibly long period of time. It was as dull as one can imagine. After all, if one guards a turtle and the turtle does not move away from his food and his bed, then one guards a very safe turtle.
I can imagine that would be boring.
Hi.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
It shakes its head. If I'm able to answer, I will give you answers. If I am not, I will not.
Partly I'm curious about the nature of you becoming attached to that artifact.
Why?
Curiosity.
As I said, it was my sword, and it was used to kill me.
Did you get it in the same manner?
Hmm. Yes and no.
Yes and
In
no.
my case, it was bequeathed to me by a dying man. In the case of my particular claiming of it, it was, as I say, used to slay me.
Hmm. Is that the fate of anyone that gets slayed by it? Or just you because it was yours?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Perhaps the individual whom presented it to me wandered with the sword until it was taken from me. Perhaps he didn't.
Hmm. Did you know his name?
Or the person whom gave me the sword.
Yeah.
Yes. His name was Shugi Hisakawa.
That name sound familiar at all?
Really? He was a friend of mine. But the sword needed a it needed a guardian.
Hmm.
I was that guardian.
And life and death, I guess.
Yes.
You'd said that it had come apart before, the way it did.
More so it came together in the way that it did.
Really? That sounds like
Yes.
a story.
There was a reason that the sword of cherry blossoms likens itself to the cherry blossom chair to which it is bound. The reason being that it was originally forged from 1,000 times 1,000 cherry blossom petals. When it was smelted, when it was hardened, when it was turned into the blade that it became, because it was the gods willed to bind the life to the death, the moment to the ending, or the beginning to the ending, the life to the death.
By the gods?
So the legend goes.
Hmm. So it came together as cherry blossoms and it came apart as butterflies.
The gods have a sense of humor. The sword was named, or is named, the butterfly cutter.
Well, that I knew.
I do not blame Lord Nizen for killing me.
No?
He did what needed to be done. No. I had my duty. He had his.
In the end, that's all we really have.
I served as. Yes, that would be the right word. I served as Yojimbo once, a very long time ago, to a very powerful man. However, the man was as dark as the night is long. I had sworn my oath. I was his sword. Lord Nizen ended his tyranny, but unfortunately, to do so, he needed to do so over my own broken body.
Hmm. So you've been with the sword since then.
Yes.
Hmm.
And that was on September the 14th, 1164. If you want to roll an academics check, you can.
Yeah.
Something very famous. Something very famous happened on that day. I tell you what, I'm just going to go get a drink, and I'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll continue.
Okay.
And I'm back.
Okay. This is difficulty 6.
Yes.
Okay, 5 successes. Also, did I recognize the name Shuji Hazakama?
Shugi Hisakawa. Not really, no.
Okay,
How many successes did you say you got?
5.
Holy shit, okay. Yeah, on the 14th of September, 1164, the former emperor of Japan, Emperor Stoku, died in mysterious circumstances.
Oh,
hmm According to legend, he also became one of the three great, or Euro of Japan, three great ghosts of Japan. He was a truly terrifying entity.
and this is the day he said he died?
And it's also it's the day that Emperor Stoku died. It's also the day this individual said he died.
Ha, my
And he did
graveyard
say
is
I
full
served
today.
a wicked, and he did say I served a wicked man.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Didn't you say the sword had come apart before?
hmm
So it
He
came.
did.
Well, I'm asking him.
Yes, it did.
What were the circumstances of that? Similar?
I was about to use the blade in order to end Lord Nizan, for even he could not stand against the sword's power, despite his incredible age and mastery. However, when I was about to land the death blow, once again, the sword became as butterflies were. And so it was that Lord Nizan was able to shatter my body and lay me low. And then when he summoned it with his hand, the sword came to him, not to me.
So he was able to pull it apart and then bring it back together. Or do you think it was, just curious, whether it was the sword that on its own that did it or if it was him?
I believe it was the sword. I was serving an unjust man, even if I was serving him because of an oath that I must keep. The
Hmm.
sword rebelled against me, and it came back to the hands of someone deemed to be virtuous.
Hmm.
That is what I believe. Whether it is true or not, I cannot say.
Seems good as explanation as any. Can I do an occult roll on this?
Yeah, sure.
What? Oh.
Oh, you just don't write the intercult. We know what it is. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
You can literally just copy and paste the above, like so you don't have to write it again. Just don't have the intercult.
I'm halfway there.
That's what she said.
Okay, one success.
No, it's a lot more than one success. Actually, it's 3 successes. You just the way you coded it was weird. See, there's a 6, a 6, a 6, and a 7.
Oh, why is it?
I don't know.
What did I
Just
do?
for record. Oh, you put greater than or equal to.
Did I?
Or sorry, yeah, yeah. You put greater than
Oh,
bull thing.
gotcha.
Just for the record, just write the 7d10. That's
Okay.
fine. But yes, you got. It seems entirely plausible. The sword is, after all, the symbol of honor,
Mm.
and and it is indeed an incredibly potent artifact. If it believed that it was being used for a dishonorable purpose, maybe it refused to take part in what it deemed to be a dishonorable practice.
Hmm. And considering what it was trying to be used for, again, that makes sense.
Hmm. From an out of character perspective, I will tell you that Mayori, the rice merchant, was holding it in his hands and thinking about selling it.
Oh, is that when it exploded?
It may have been.
Jerk.
The sword will return to the hand of the virtuous when it is that virtue truly shines.
Hmm.
At least I believe that is what will happen. At which point I will more than likely return to my duties.
Hmm. Well, you're welcome to stay here until that happens.
Thank you.
You're in good company.
I like the spirits here.
Hmm.
It is good to have conversation.
Yes. I try to make sure they're protected.
I would happily help you in that endeavor if you like.
Good. Seems peace is looking to get disturbed here, one way or another. At least until Nizan returns or somebody else is able to take power. Do you have any idea what happened to him?
To whom?
Lord Nizon?
He appears to contemplate for a few moments. The night that he left, he wrote a letter. And he tied it to the foot of a crow or a raven. And he spoke to it in hushed words and used the powers innate in his blood to give it a command on where to fly, but I do not know where.
Interesting.
The next day he was simply gone, and he did not take the sword with him. It sat next to the throne.
Is that odd? It seems like he would have taken it.
It would seem so. But he did not.
Strange.
I cannot judge what I do not know.
Doesn't stop most people.
But I do not know who the letter was sent to. But that may be a course for you to walk down.
Yes. Did he often send letters by Raven?
No. Lord Nizon was gifted in the art of projecting himself with his mind wherever he needed to be. The fact that he would send a letter is slow and clumsy.
Was he worried somebody was listening?
The spirit shrugs.
I think something that could be intercepted by magic would also be able to be intercepted physically.
Once again, he shrugs.
Hmm.
I do not know. Magic is not exactly my forte.
That type of magic isn't really mine either. The living are complicated.
I should think so.
So would I know, is there a way, I don't even know what power that is because I suck. But is that something that could be intercepted? Whatever he would use to...
Do you have Auspex?
I do not.
It's something your parent clan does have, so I'll say yes, it can be intercepted.
Okay. That makes sense. Being as a lot of vampires stay away from animals typically, that could also make sense if he was trying to keep certain people away from it.
If you say so.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Ah.
Is there anything else you think I should know? Like I said, my main goal has always been to protect this place from whatever the people outside feel they need to get themselves into. So the faster I can assure an accord that leaves this place alone, the better off we'll be.
Lord Nizon engaged my former master after I had died. He was incredibly powerful, but he could not slay him.
Your master?
No.
Or Nizon?
Nizon could not slay my former master.
Oh. Then what happened to him?
He was bound, broken up, ripped to pieces. Nizan used the blood powers given to his clan to rip his soul into pieces.
Oh,
He then sealed the soul, and it was buried in the tomb along with my master's body. He sealed it in 4 separate jade cases.
Hmm. Are you concerned that someone might be looking for them?
It is no concern of mine.
Should it be of mine?
That depends. My former master, should never once again walk this world. For the good of many. He made many dark pacts and many dark agreements on the shadowed twilight.
I can imagine some of those looking to control the Empire would get it in their head to go find him.
Possibly. However, you cannot control a typhoon.
I know that. I don't know if everybody
Many
else
do.
does.
Perhaps.
Not being able to control it never stopped anybody from trying or calling it forward.
However, those who stand in the path of the storm will either bend or be broken.
Well, I'd like to avoid the path of the storm if I can't stop it altogether. But again, arrogance is the downfall of many, especially around here.
Indeed. Power is as power does. Is there anything else you would ask of me?
Nothing comes to mind. Is there anything I can do for you?
May I make a selfish request?
Of course.
There was never a candle burned, never incense offered, and never a memorial made to my existence. I would be very grateful if one could be erected here.
Of course.
That provides me some measure of comfort. I thank you for it.
Always.
With that, he will go back to kneeling in prayer.
Is there any name besides Seiko I should know of you?
My full name is Seiko Nakauchi. Sorry, I took a moment to say his actual name. For the record, you can now roll an intelligence. Did you take Kindred Lore?
Kindred Lord, no.
Okay. You can roll me an intelligence academics check. Difficulty is going to be 7.
Okay. Whoa, what did I just do? Oh, my bad. Hold on.
77
Shut up.
or 67 rather.
I don't know where I got 7 from. Oh, because I was thinking difficulty 7.
One success. Because the one counts as a success. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
I got
enough to get it. Because he was actually pretty famous.
Mhm.
All right, so let's just have a history lesson, kid.
Yeah, I love history lessons.
Yay, let's history lessons.
I love history lesson. Go.
It's fine. So, hang on, just give me a second. I have to find some names. Ah, here it is. All right, so Seiko Nakauchi was one of the 4 individuals whom were originally named the 4 Kensai. Of them, only one of them is still, the 7 Kensai. Of them, only one of them is still around, and that's old man Shikamori Katsi, who is one of the oldest Bruja on the island.
Oh. Wait, what's his name?
He used to.
What's Bruja's guy's name?
Oh, old man Shikamori Katsi. He's called the Last Sword Saint. He's in the major NPC section.
Okay, cool.
This individual here, Seiko Nakauchi, was originally, back in the good old days, he was a Ventrue and one of the 7 Sword Saints.
Hmm.
He also wrote one of the first treatises on. He basically was one of the fathers of Bushido as an entity.
That's cool. What was his name one more time? Because I just accidentally deleted it.
Seiko Nakauchi.
Okay. So that I'll bow to him and leave him to his prayer and like go find a place to set up a memorial for him.
Are you going to inform Lord Hanzo per your agreement
I mean, yeah.
with him? What exactly are you telling him? Actually, no. Before we begin, what price do you want for the information? And then I will see, based on what you say, if he'll pay it. And if you need me to explain how boons work, I'll happily do it.
I mean, I kind of understand how they work. I just don't fully understand like what would be involved in like a major boon versus a minor boon. And he did say major boon, right? Or you kind of implied that.
Yes, we're talking. So a major boon, he'll kill someone.
Okay.
He'll straight up murder someone. He mightn't kill a kindred, but he'll straight up murder an ordinary human being like that.
Fair. I don't need anyone.
A minor boon is something that would inconvenience him minorly. Like he'd have to use influences, or he'd have to exert a little bit of effort, but it would be nothing more than a minor flick of the wrist. But
Gotcha.
a major boon is something that he actually has to commit to.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of price would you ask?
I mean, I don't really need anyone murdered right now, but like
boons also stay for as long as you need them. Like they're put on record.
It's a major boon then. In relation to protecting the graveyard. and the spirits in it.
Okay, so you want to basically have him. You want to basically ask for a major boon and then immediately cash in the major boon, so he will always protect your graveyard.
Is that worth a major boon? Or would that be?
I mean, yeah, no, that could be a major boon.
Yeah.
Cool. He will do so, and he will order the rest of his clan to do so.
Nice.
So what are you informing him of exactly?
I will tell him. Well, I'll start with the information he asked for, which was the fact that the last time it came apart was when. Where did I write that down? The last time it came apart was when the last wielder of it tried to kill Naizen with it, and it came apart, and then Naizen was able to call it back together after slaying the original wielder of it.
Actually, to kind of correct your timeline on that a little bit, he called the sword back together and then slew the original wielder with it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Cool.
I'll start with that and then see if he asks me any other questions based on it.
No, he won't ask you any other questions, but if you give him more information, he might give you more boons. Unless you're happy with just what you've gotten.
I'm happy with that for now. I'm probably going to hold on to this information until I get a little bit more of a feel for what this current situation is.
Okay. With that in mind, we will end our scene. So thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Memories of the Cherry Blossom Throne. Have a pleasant evening.